everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you're logging in from. I'm Nandini Trivedi, your host for this musical evening. I'm a 12th class student and very passionate about music. Today, it's the 45th edition of the TLR Connect Ask Me Anything show, which is brought to you by TLR Now. TLR Now is a niche coaching, training, and mentoring service provider based out of Pune, India, with chapters in Sri Lanka, Oman, Bhutan, Nepal, and they're expanding. Today, we have with us Mr. Upendra Laxmeshwar, a renowned and very talented musician from Pune, India. Mr. Upendra Laxmeshwar is a passionate musician. He plays a variety of instruments. To name a few, the guitar, the keyboard, the harmonica. He has also worked in the manufacturing industry. During 1966 to 1969, he has attended various recordings of S.D. Burman and Ram Kadam at Mumbai, to name a few again. He founded the Harmony Institute of Music in 1974, way before I was born, and since then he has taught over 23,000 students. He is an authorized and approved teacher with the London College of Music and the Registry of Guitar Tutors. He is the recipient of multiple prestigious awards. The students of his institutes have won several medals in international concerts. And I'm very proud to say that I am a part of this institute for the past 6 years, and I too have won a gold medal in Sri Lanka and a silver medal at Thailand. Good evening, sir, and welcome to this wonderful show.
Good evening. And it's very nice to be here with you. I'm very happy to be with you today.
So before I begin with my questions, we would be really keen to know about your journey of life so far.
Journey of my life. Before I continue, let me say something that whatever views I express today, whatever opinions I express today, are totally mine independently. They are not based on anyone else's judgments. They are all based on my own experience, on my own working, and whatever I have learned in life so far. I'm not implying it on anyone, neither am I basing my opinions on anyone else's opinions. So those are going to be totally independently my opinions. And personally, I have experienced those. Okay. Now coming to what you said just now, my journey so far, I come from a chemical background. I come from an industrialist family, manufacturing dyestuffs. In fact, my father was the third industry to start off in India to manufacture dyestuffs. I did join him. I had shown my inclination to music right since when I was maybe about 4.5 years old. And I went on to play a lot of music in my younger days. However, during these 50s, mid 50s, late 50s, when I was maybe 5, 10 years old, music was a taboo. It was not something looked up to. It was looked down upon. Music didn't have the stature that it has today, and naturally, music was since it was looked down upon. People were not very keen. And more so, my father, coming from an industrial background, he was not very keen that I take up music as a career. In fact, to be frank and forthright with you, I mean, he had thrown me out of the house twice because I was taking too much of interest in music. Of course, my mother did back me up. My mother was a little inclined towards the art side. She used to sing well, and she did promote me. But then I had to do a lot of struggle to learn what I did learn. Very fortunately, I got a very good guru for my learning my guitar, and the rest of the instruments I had to learn on my own. The journey has been tough. Journey has been with a lot of obstacles, but then I'm happy with it because I could part with what I know, what I have learned the hard way. I can give it to people like you, the youngsters like you, who are really keen on learning music. Because music does a lot of wonders to a person. Lots of things it changes. Lots of things it does in a different way for a lot of people. So the basic crux of music is satisfaction, happiness, achieving something in life. Maybe not money. Money is not the criterion. When you talk about money is not the criteria. Nowadays, of course, things have undergone a lot of change, and they have changed a lot to make a lot of money in the music industry nowadays.
Yeah.
In our time, I started with when I used to get just about 10 rupees for a 2.5 hour program, a concert for 2.5 hours, and I used to get just about 10 rupees.
Yeah.
I'm coming down the ladder. The person who used to play a smaller instrument used to get hardly 2 rupees and 3 rupees. Of
Yeah.
course, the things were also cheaper that time. Life was cheaper that time. Living was cheaper that time. But then the amount of money that we got that time was very, very low. But then having come so far, I'm totally happy with this. That I chose to make music a career. Maybe after half my life passed away, I did. Continue with music. I was in Ahmednagar. My unit was in Ahmednagar, so I was stationed in Ahmednagar for about 30 years, 28, 29 years. I had a small bungalow over there, and I used to come home at 8 o'clock at night after the company's work, and I used to take classes at home after 8 o'clock,
Mm. Yeah.
carrying on till 10 o'clock, till 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So, that freedom I had, so I could develop my likes and dislikes and my music. And along with that, I could impart my knowledge to my students. And we used to have a lot of shows, local shows in Ahmednagar. We've done a
Yeah.
lot of shows. And in the district area. Of course, we used to come down to Pune also for a lot of shows. But then I could do something over there. And that did help,
Yeah.
along with the running of the manufacturing unit, which was a chemical dye stuff manufacturing unit. So
Yeah.
along with that, I used to, promote my talent at home, and then along with that, with other places. Of course, I used to be. In fact, the Vehicle Research Development Establishment in Ahmednagar. I used to
Mm.
perform there regularly for their annual balls.
Mm.
They used to have annual balls, and I have, as I have mentioned, I have performed with the IIT officers mess here in Pune in 1972, where the Admiral, late Sri Admiral Nanda, was the chief guest of honor. And literally, he was a huge man, very huge, very huge overweight. But believe me, he danced that time on the dance floor. He danced, and he came up and hugged me and said, "My goodness, you guys are playing fantastic." And can you believe it? We played from the evening that day in 1972, from 7 o'clock in the evening to 4:30 in the morning, non-stop. 9.5 hours we performed non-stop, and he gave us a silver plaque for that. I don't have it with me, and I don't know where it was placed, but he gave us a silver plaque which inscribed the Sinners, my group's name, and what we performed over there. So it was a very nice time, and we have come quite far. Having trained about 23,000 students, I have some students who are doing exceptionally well, who are playing beautifully, who are abroad, who are in India. A lot of students are there. Even today, I have about 11, 12 students abroad, four from New Jersey, two from New York, then two from Belgium, one from Germany. I have about 11, 12 students who are still learning online. So that much we have come so far.
Oh, that was really a wonderful introduction to this show. So, as we know, it's the rainy season currently. I would request your band to play the song Rim Jhim Gire Savan, just as an
Sure,
introduction.
sure. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, sir, that was really an amazing introduction to this show. So to begin with my questions, my first question to you is, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for music?
If it wasn't for music, I'd be mixing chemicals. I'd be making chemicals because that's what I'm good
Okay.
at. So I wouldn't be doing anything else, and
Okay.
I wouldn't dream of doing anything else because that was the unit my father had put up, and
Okay.
it's the third unit in India for manufacture of dye stuff. So I wouldn't be doing anything else excepting that for music because music is my love and chemicals is my profession.
Okay.
So naturally, I mean, I would be doing chemicals, and the only thing I can do besides chemicals is music.
Okay.
Chemicals is also mixing. Music is also mixing. You need
Okay.
a lot of instruments to get the output that you desire, the output that you
Yeah.
want. Now, as you heard the song just now, Rim Rim Giri Savan, there was a guitar, there was a bass guitar, there was the keyboard. The keyboard also used three, four different tones to mix up the song. So ultimately, what we got was one output.
Yeah.
So there are three, four different inputs.
Hmm.
And both those people who are playing with me, they are playing with me for nearly 10 years. They're learning with me for nearly 10 years. That's why they could come up to this level and play professionally.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I wouldn't dream of doing anything else excepting music
Okay.
and chemicals. Of course, now that I have given up chemicals totally, and I'm into music for the last 20 years now, totally.
Hmm.
Since I came back from Ahmednagar to Pune, I have given up. I have a small unit in Pune also again, but then which I resigned off in 2003, and I have devoted myself totally to music since 2003. Totally. I mean, I don't do anything else except the music.
Hmm.
24 hours of the day, I'm into music.
So one question from the audience: are you having music classes now being done online? Would
Oh
love to
yeah,
learn the flute.
I do have classes online. I have about 120 students presently online, and I'm with my students from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. Earlier, I do have branches here. I have four branches in Pune, which I attend personally. I do not have any tutors to teach in class. I teach every student individually and personally. And I attend all these four branches myself on different days of the week. But online, I am with my students for nearly more than 12 hours a day, from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. I'm with my students, and I mean, I do whatever I can for them
Okay.
online. Yes, online teaching is going on, and it's going on properly. No problems, absolutely. Those who are interested for online teaching, you're most welcome.
So there's another question from the audience by Sanjeev Somnath, and I am also interested to know the answer. What
Okay.
inspired the name The Sinners?
You know, when we started the group, the name Sinners, there were a few groups in the world around. I'm talking about the mid 60s or maybe late 60s when we started the group, the Sinners. I started the group with my guru, Mr. Vinay Kumar Devrikkar, because of whom I have whatever I have today in music, in the guitar, that is. Now, during those times, the group's names were the Ventures, the Shadows, the Beach Boys. So the names were something like that. And we thought, why not we call ourselves the Sinners? Because it was a sin that time to play music. In the mid 60s and late 60s, it was a sin to play music. It was an absolute taboo. As I told you in the starting, that music was a taboo, and I was thrown out of my house by my dad twice. So naturally, we thought we were doing a sin. We were, okay, I mean, we were sinners. So I said, why not we call ourselves sinners? And that's how the name came to be.
Okay. So,
We
so
were
the
five.
next question is from my side.
Mhm.
So I'm your student learning the keyboard and the guitar, and I can surely tell the audience that it is sheer joy and pleasure to learn from you. So what inspires you to teach music in particular and with so much of passion?
See, firstly, music is something which is with everyone. It's not with me alone, or you alone, or him alone, or her alone. It's with everyone. Every person has music within him. See, it's talent, and talent is always latent. See, the spelling is the same: Talent, Latent. And latent means sleeping. You have to wake it up. There are so many very good, talented musicians in the world, in India specifically, that they don't know about it unless and until they do it. So you have so many people who don't know that they are good musicians. They are good singers. They are good instrumentalists. They are good writers. They are good, playwrights. They are good actors. They don't know because they have not done it. So what I do is firstly assess, okay, what is the talent that person has. I have a lot of people coming to me, Are mera bacha ye itna aisa karta hai, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's picking up so fast, he's picking up so nicely. So I need to access the child or the senior or the middle aged or whoever comes to me for classes. I need to assess as to what level the person is. And music basically is something that touches your heart. Have you ever heard a song? I'll kill you, I'll murder you, I'll break your
No.
bones. Oh, I'll break your bones. Oh, I'll break your heart. I mean, you'll never have that kind of song.
Yeah.
A song
Hmm.
is made of something which you express love for.
Yeah.
Maybe your fiance's love, maybe your brotherly love, your sister's love, your mother's love, your father's love, your friend's love. I mean, you love nature, so you express nature's love through a song. You have so many songs based on nature also. So
Yeah.
anything that is going to be based on love is going to be turning out to us. It's going to be, I mean, it's just something which is spontaneous. And spontaneity is going to come from within every person individually differently. It cannot be the same for every person. So what we need to, what I think about when I teach, when I impart whatever I have, I cannot say I teach because music is something that cannot be taught. Music is learned by one's own self. See, a person who has talent will immediately pick it up. A person who has less talent will take a longer time to pick up. A person who has more talent will pick it up like this. In the same batch, you have, say, 5 students sitting. One person picks up very fast. The second one picks up a little slower. And the fifth one picks up the slowest. Does it mean that he doesn't have talent? No. It means that his pickup is slower. He picks up slower. That's all. But he can understand and learn to his own pace. Every person has a different pace. Every person has a different capacity. Every person has a level of talent. One has more, one has less. So you have to take all these things into consideration and then assess out who will learn the best. Because when you come to me to learn music, you want happiness, you want satisfaction. So I have to decide okay, how you will be taught. And that is why I put my heart into it. Because every student of mine is my favorite. ऐसा कोई नहीं कि I mean, he is favorite or he is favorite or she is favorite. No, everyone is favorite because they have come to express their feelings. They want to express. See, any musician has got those feelings with him. That is why he wants to learn music and to express himself. And with music, you express more so with instrumental music. It's very difficult with a singer. You have lyrics to express what you have to say. But whereas an instrumentalist has nothing excepting the instrument to say what he wants to say. So that song which he's going to play has got to be as expressive as a person who's singing it. So the singer has a definite advantage over the instrumentalist. that he's singing himself with the words that he's got, the lyrics that he's got. Which is why the instrumentalists need to put in more effort so that he will be able to express the song in exactly the same way as the singer is expressing himself. And that is why it is all the more difficult. And which is why I am more inclined to inform and to teach the student how to express yourself with a harmonica or with a guitar or with the keyboard or any other instrument. I'll take the case of a ukulele. I'm teaching the ukulele also. Now, ukulele is mostly used for strumming and singing. It's very easy to learn. So the expression is here is what counts. That's the main thing in that.
Okay. So this list of questions will go on, obviously. So just I would we would like to listen to the next song by your band again,
Sure,
Badan Pe Sitare.
sure, no problem.
Wow, so this
Even
was personally my favorite song.
I enjoyed listening to it here. You
So,
never get to know.
yeah.
Come again.
Yeah, so you were saying something.
Yeah, you never get to know what you're playing unless and until you sit opposite side and listen to it, actually.
Yeah. So moving on with the questions. What is the creative process that you employ to teach children, adolescents, and adults? I mean, I have been to class so many times, and I have seen there is a varied range of people who are learning music from you. So, is
Your
there a
voice
different
is
method
breaking.
that you employ?
I can't hear you. Your voice is breaking.
Okay, sir. I'll just check. Yeah. So, is it better now?
Yeah, yeah, much better. Yeah.
Okay.
And you were
Sorry
saying,
for the technical glitch. Yeah. So what is the creative process that you employ to teach children, adolescents, and adults? I have been to class for so many years, and I have seen that there is a very range of people who are learning music from you. So, is there a
right.
different method that you employ for each one of them?
I'll tell you. Now, you have been with me since you were a small kid, right? You learned
Yes.
the keyboard, you learned the guitar.
Yeah.
Now, what I usually do is I have students come. I mean, let me give you a little bit of a background. I have students ranging starting from 5 years old right up to 84 years old. So the range is wide, very wide,
Yeah.
which is why I say I'm very fortunate that I'm with all the generations. I know what a 5-year-old wants. I know what a 10-year-old wants. I know what a 15-year-old wants, so on and so forth. I'll come to the point now, but I'll tell you the best part of it is there was a 5-year-old kid who was in our class, and he never used to come prepared. So, I mean, I asked him, Ari, why don't you practice? Why don't you put in some time? He looked at me like that and he said, I don't have time. The answer that he gave me was so funny for me. That spells a lot of things for the younger generation today. A
Yeah.
5-year-old telling me that I don't have time. It says a lot of things about the generation today. And that is exactly what I take into mind when I create different students. I teach individually, I never teach in groups because
Yes.
music is something which cannot be taught in groups and which should not be taught in groups. Earlier, I mean, if you go back generations, you will find that every guru had one shishya, one disciple sitting in front of him, so that concentration could be complete and the teaching could be complete. Now, what I do here is I first assess the learner's capability because unless until I know how at what level his talent is, I'll not be able to impart the correct information to him, which his learning might be, it might slow down, it might be too fast, it might be too slow. So that will not help him. He needs to learn at a pace which he can keep up with. So I naturally take up his capability, his talent. What is the level of talent that he's got? His willingness to learn. How much is he willing to put in? Because I have a number of students who come twice a week, but they bring their instruments and open their instruments only in class. So the willingness to practice is not there. So naturally, the learning curve is very long. It's very wide. So that has to be taken into account. After taking all these factors into account, I create a syllabus for an individual student. For every individual student, I have a specific syllabus because I know his willingness, I know his capability, I know his talent, I know how far he's going to come, I know how many days a month he's going to attend. So, taking into consideration all these factors, I have to devise a syllabus for him which he will be comfortable with. Now, once he's comfortable with that, I can process and I can proceed to give him training so that he'll be happy with what he's learning.
Yeah.
Ultimately, what is the goal? The goal for music is to be happy.
Yeah.
Everyone doesn't come to become an A-class musician, to become to become Shankar-Jaikishan, or to become any top-class musician. Most of them, they come for their own happiness, so that they can play with their friends, or at their family gatherings, or at their family functions, or maybe in their group, in their company, wherever they are working, where they want to take part somewhere. So nobody is looking, or not everyone is looking forward to becoming a top class musician. The basic contention here is to be happy, and that is what I try to teach. How to keep this person happy, so that he learns the best part and he learns the easiest. So I assess all these things. So naturally, I have to keep separate methods for each and every student, which is what I usually do. For every student, I keep a separate method, I keep a separate syllabus, and I teach him according, because I know when I see him with me, when after about a month's time, it takes around a month to 2 months for me to totally make out how far this fellow is going to go, or this lady is going to go. How much is she going to pick up, or how much is he going to pick up? And then I devise a syllabus likewise, so that they learn at their own pace and they learn to be happy. That's usually what I do.
Yeah, okay. So just to change the genre of questions, my next question is about the current situation with the pandemic and the fear in mind that all of us have as to when this will end, etc. How this process of learning music or listening to music can help us calm down and look for positivity at the same time.
See, basically, the pandemic is a fear of the pandemic, basically, that has been put into the minds of everyone. Now, to give you the latest example, malls have opened out.
No.
How many people are going to the mall? Malls have opened out,
Oh
but how many
yeah.
people are going to the malls? That is because of
Yeah.
the fear of the pandemic. What is important is learning and knowing how to put a stop, how to be careful, how to put a bar, so that you don't cross those certain limits, which will put you
Yeah.
into the danger zone. Those are explained to the younger generation, or to the older generation, or to the middle age generation, and tell them to take proper care. Then I think there would be no problem. There would be, the cases are dropping as it is, as we can see every day from the news and from the media. Cases are dropping. But here, music will help you calm. Music will help you stay in control. Music will help you stay grounded. Music will make you realize that what exactly life is, how far you can go in life, how much you can do in life. Music will give you that happiness, that oneness at home. Now, to give an example, a small example of everyone's home in the initial period of the lockdown, all dads were at home
Yeah.
when they usually were not at home. Was there any problem? In
No.
fact, they were home. Initially, there might have been a problem for the first few days, but then everyone got used to things.
Yes.
Things calmed down. A lot of moms and dads came together. A lot of brothers and sisters came together. That is what music does. That is exactly what music does. It brings you together.
Yeah.
What does music talk about? As I just told you some time back, music talks about love, nothing else. Any song and every song is an expression of love,
Yeah.
whatever kind of love. As I said, even love with nature. That is what it speaks of.
Yeah.
So, uh, I don't think the pandemic is going to play a lot of a havoc with musicians.
Yeah.
Yes, financially, yes, maybe, yes, I do agree. Financially, the setback is there. It's to everyone. Then the happiness, the staying in control, the staying grounded, the staying practical. Musicians will always be there for that, and they should. I'm quite sure that they will handle this pandemic much more maturely and much more better than the average man. I'm sure about that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So moving on again, another song by your band, Dam
Oh,
Maro Dam, just to add a little bit of bass to the
yes, sure,
program.
sure. Oh, yes, by all means.
So again, one of my favorite songs, and I just remembered I was inspired to learn the guitar when you were teaching this song in class.
Uh, that's so nice of you.
So moving on, tell us something about your best experiences with music or with your
Oh, oh,
students.
oh. There is one experience which I can never forget in my life. I don't know. I must be one of the very few or one of the very rarest of the rare persons who must have got a once more for one song three times. Believe me, three times. This was a day before my marriage on the 7th of December of 1974. 8th of December I got married. 7th was the puja one day earlier, and my wife and her family and my family, they were at the reception hall, the marriage hall, that is. And at the time at around 9 o'clock, I was at Bal Gandharva Rangamandir in Pune. I was performing, and very fortunately that day the concert which we had was overflowing. Bal Gandharva has a seating capacity of approximately 998, and believe me, that day I still remember people were standing in the aisle also. So there were around approximately 1200 to 1300 people that day, and I played the song "Wipeout" by the Ventures. The first time I played, I got a resounding once more. It was me and my drummer, Mr. Vittal Bhatt, and the Congo person, Mr. Satish Soma. We were three of us on the stage. Once more, I is fine. It was, I mean, we were used to getting a once more. So we played the second time. After the second time, the song was over. Again, we got a resounding applause with a once more again. And we were shocked. I looked at my drummer and I said, are we making some mistake or what? Why these people are giving us a third time once more?
Yeah.
Literally shocked out of my wits. And at the same time, our announcer walked in and he announced on the stage, अरे यार हमारे आज गिटारिस्ट की शादी है तो उनको जाना है तो उनको जाने दो. And once this he announced that I was getting married that day, the whole audience stood up and applauded. I still remember that scene vividly. It's still in front of my eyes. The whole Bal Gandharva standing up and applauding, and still shouting once more, once more. So I played the song for the third time. So that is something which I cannot forget. Then, of course, I was very lucky, very fortunate to meet the great Mohammad Rafi twice. The first time when I met him, I fell at his feet, asked for his blessings. And I told him, sir, हम छोटे खानी म्यूजिशियन हैं, आशीर्वाद दीजिए हमें. So he said, can just imagine the words that he used. बेटा कलाकार कोई बड़ा छोटा नहीं होता, कलाकार कलाकार होता है. He brought himself down to our level, or think of it the other way around. He pulled us up to his level.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that a man of his stature, and he took us as he gave us an embrace. He gave us a hug. I tell you, I just can't forget those things here. Meeting Asha ji. I mean, Datta ji, you just can't forget these people, They have what they have done for the music industry and how much they have put in for the music industry. And I was lucky to have been born in the era of Mohammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar, Kannade, Hemant Kumar, Mahendra Kapoor, Lata Mangeshkar ji, Asha Bhosle ji. All these people, they were creators. What they did was something exemplary. So, I mean, I just can't forget these things. Those are going to be milestones in my life, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So any other good experiences with students that you had? I mean, you've been teaching for a really long time now.
Well, the experience with my students has always been good. The experience, I mean, I'm a sort of a shy person. I do not go about beating my own drum. Never. Even in class, even on our concerts, I rarely perform because I do not want the student to feel inferior. So I always promote the students. And the students on their part, I still remember in one of the branches, I had 4 different cakes for my birthday. I don't disclose my birthday to anyone because I don't like a pomp and show. I'm not that kind of a person. And I don't know where you guys got the hang of it. You people got the hang of my birthday, and One batch got one cake, second batch got a second cake, third batch got a third cake, fourth batch got a fourth cake. I mean, I was overwhelmed. This is the love that I want, nothing else here.
Yeah.
What do you live? I mean, you live in life for what? Can you take your car to heaven with you? Or hell? Can you take your flat with you? No. You can't take anything with you. The only thing that you can take with you is somebody else's love. Nothing else you can take.
Yeah.
In life, what you can walk away with is somebody else's love and nothing else.
Yeah.
I cannot take your money from you. Even if I take it, it's not going to come with me. I cannot take your car with me. Even if I take it, it's not going to accompany me to the grave. That's all.
Yes.
What is going to accompany me is your tears, your love for me.
Yes.
And that is all that is required actually in life. That is really what is required in life. Just imagine you go home, you tell mama, give me food, give me dinner. She comes and bangs the plate in front of you. Le kha. खाना जाएगा क्या? नहीं जाएगा.
No.
But if you sit next to you, अरे बच्चा ले ले यार, रोटी गरम गरम बनाई है. So instead of 2 rotis, you will have 3 rotis. It's love that is talking. It's nothing else. And music is love. और क्या है music?
Yes.
It's most in music.
Yeah. So as you said, you're very used to these once mores. So the audience has requested for a once more for Dam Maru Dam.
Sure, by all means, yeah.
Okay.
It's all.
So what a great show that's going on.
The song is such, the song composition is such, the song, the arrangement, the build up of the song, the tone of the song, everything is so wonderful.
So yeah.
Burman was not a
Yeah.
free person.
So moving on with the questions.
Well,
Who is your role model, and what is one of the best
yeah.
things that you have learned from him or her? Okay.
My role model was my guru, my teacher,
Okay.
in actual. But then at the same time, there have been a lot of role models. See, for a musician, he has to learn from a number of sources. Now, do you know that I learned even from my 5-year-old student? There are certain things which a person cannot gauge. As a human being, I'm not free of blemishes. I'm full of blemishes. But if I can realize that I'm full of blemishes, I need to remove those blemishes one by one. And I remove those blemishes and put in something which I have learned from, maybe it is from my friend, my mother, my father, my brother, my student. What is wrong? Just because I'm a teacher, does it mean I cannot learn from my student? Of course not. I can learn from my student. Because every human being has got some special qualities. Every human being has got something special. That is why you have so many billions and billions of human beings who are totally different to one another. So naturally, you keep a mind open, keep your thoughts open. I mean, I have never implied or never told my student or never informed my student, you will do this only because I'm telling you. No, I'm open to, discussion so that we can change, so that as the audience, they should be able to listen to something good. See, remember that you make an impression on the audience once. If that impression is not correct, the audience will never entertain you. As simple as that. If you are a good musician, you need to show it once. Once you show that you are a good musician, the audience will always trust you.
Yes.
Once you show them that you are not a good musician, they will not look at you. As simple as that. And that's the right of the audience. Audience has a right to do that.
Yes.
Otherwise, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will become a musician and a singer. So that you can't have that.
Yes.
So you need to be expressive. You need to do it absolutely. And so role models are, now in certain cases I have Zakir Hussain as a role model. In certain cases I have Hari Prasad Chaurasi as a role model. In certain things I look to Lataji as a role model. In certain things I look to Rafiji as a role model. Because I pick up those qualities as much as I can and try to ingest them and try to imbibe them and pass them on to my students so that they become the best musicians as much as possible. One cannot be the best person throughout. Everyone has a graph. Everyone has a graph. That is one reason which I don't perform. Nobody wants to see a 70-year-old guy performing on stage. Come on. They would rather
Yeah.
see a youngster. It's as simple as that. Of course it is.
Yeah.
There was a time when people used to recognize me as a golden guitarist. In the newspapers, my name never used to come. All the other artists used to be mentioned, and at the end, they used to write, and your favorite golden guitarist. So people used to recognize it was me. But that was that time, 60s and 70s. Time passed. One must learn to accept times. One must learn to accept that, yes, it was. It is not today. It was yesterday. If you realize that, then people will respect you. If I keep pushing myself in place of my students who are youngsters, I should be promoting my students, isn't it? I should not be promoting myself in my class. Certainly not. And I don't do that.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
So the audience is loving the soundtrack. So we'll continue with one of the soundtracks that you have played.
Sure, sure.
One of your solos, Ye Sama.
Oh, yes. Sure, sure.
Sir, again, a wonderful track.
Thank you.
So moving on with the questions, how is this online teaching process going about for you, considering this whole situation? And are you looking forward to continuing this online teaching even
See,
after
there
the
are two
pandemic?
aspects to this. One, uh, talent is usually not taught online. Talent, you need to have the teacher in front of you. You need to have the guru guiding you correctly on the spot. But then, when we think about the situation today and the situation that is what you foresee that is going to come, nowadays the youngsters have very little time on their hands to do anything else besides studying because studies are getting so difficult and so horrendous. I'm using the word horrendous. Huh? It's a fact because even I have done my senior Cambridge, I have done my graduation, I have done my post graduation, I have done, I mean, nearly 10 diplomas in various aspects of management. But believe me, our time studies was different, and today is totally different.
I agree.
Yeah. And I really sympathize with the kids today. My own grandson, he goes to school with a huge bag in his back. I mean, it hurts you. It hurts you. But then that is the thing. Things are that is the way things are working. That's the way things are moving forward. So, I mean, talking about yesterday, I don't think online teaching is that effective as personal teaching is in class. But then there is no alternative. Some people don't have time. They want to learn. Should they be kept away? No. Then what is the solution? The solution is online. Yes, the process may take a little bit of time, but at least the student will learn and think about it the other way. The demand that is coming in for online is going to be increasing. So you have to adjust. You have to make way for the newer things. Just because I'm from the earlier generation, if I be headstrong and say, no, 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 I'm not going to teach online, it is going to be stupid of me. I would rather have to adjust myself. I'd have to make some arrangements to see that whatever I can do for the students. So, I have right now, I have about 110 students online, and I have given them an option now. Once in 20-25 days, come home and I'll guide you personally for 15-20 minutes. That's more than enough. I have given this option to all my students who are online.
Yes.
That you can come home once in 20-25 days time. So you are safe. You don't have to travel too much. You can come once in 20-25 days time. And wherever your weaknesses are, I'll find them out in these 20-25 days time, and I mean mend them for you. And I'll tell you how to play correctly. So you can go home and practice and continue on. So that is one way which is it's working out very nicely for me. Students are appreciating that. A lot of students are coming home. They're taking guidance and they are doing very well. So, I mean, I'm able to balance out with a good balance in between the students, practical training and online.
Hmm.
But then I think Online is the in thing that is going to come in very soon. And of course, that's the way it's going to be. You have to accept it.
Yes. Yes. So the response from the audience is really spectacular. So after this, like now, I would request you to play the song "Hai Dil Apna Awara" and "Har Kisi Ko Nahi Milta."
Okay, okay, okay. Go ahead.
So now we would request the song "Har Kisi Ko Nahi Milta." It's again one of my favorites.
Okay. La 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 हर किसी को यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी हर किसी को यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी खुश नसीब है वो जिनको है ये बहार जिंदगी में खुश नसीब है वो जिनको है ये बहार जिंदगी में हर किसी को यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी हर किसी को यहाँ प्यार
Sir, I didn't know you sang too in the song. Amazing.
I'm not a singer, but I mean, it's okay. I just sing along with the guitar. That's all.
Yeah, it was truly fabulous, sir.
Thank you so much.
So just now to conclude the show, I would like to ask you three takeaways for the audience, the three things that we could keep as a treasure in our lives.
When you have music, you don't need any other treasure.
Yeah.
That is the first thing that along with music, along with the music that you play, you get one of the most important things in life that I have been stressing all this while is love. Love, affection, maya, mamta, jo kuch hai, whatever you decide to call it. You get it with music. What else do you want in your life here? What else do you want in life? Tell me.
Yeah.
One, you have what you can. Money can buy you things. Money can't buy you feelings. Food is enough for your stomach to fill up. Jitna khaogi, utna kam hai. I mean, sufficient enough to keep yourself fit. That's all. What about this? What about this heart here, which is connected to this? यहाँ से connection यहीं पे है ना? उसका तो दर्द यहाँ होता है. Why? Because it is with feelings. So in life, if you have music, I don't think you require anything else here.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many things which, I mean, one can say, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. It depends, because every person's perception is different. Perception to life is totally different. So it is very difficult to say, according to me, okay, for me, music, life, love is enough. Somebody else में यार क्या बुढ़ा बात करता है यार, ये थोड़ी चलता है. मुझे पैसा चाहिए, गाड़ी चाहिए, फ्लैट चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए, वैसा चाहिए, वैसा चाहिए. It's everyone's perception, everyone's need, everyone's requirement. Every individual's what he requires is totally left to him. Just as one cannot visualize the pain of somebody else. If somebody gives you a slap and you say, "Yeah, it hurts me," then if I say, "No, I know it's going to hurt," how can I know? You have been slapped. How can I know about it? Unless and until I get slapped. So I can understand your feelings. I can hurt. I can understand your hurt. It's all bogus. It's all humbug. Unless and until you go into those shoes directly yourself. So every person's need in life is different. Every person's requirement in life is different.
Yes.
All I would say is I would ask the musicians of today, those students who are learning, to be sincere. The artists, the new singers, the musicians, dedicate more to the art, dedicate time to the art, put in more positivity, put in more efforts. That will help you gain more and more. The generation should be taught to fall down, get up, and run again. And that music can certainly do without any problems. That's what I think. Yeah, it was. I think you were off the air for some time. I think.
Some technical glitches as usual.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, so there is a surprise for you.
Okay, what's that?
So, as we all know, yesterday it was the 74th Independence Day of our country. So
Yeah.
I would request you to play some patriotic song on this live show for the audience.
Oh, you want me to play now?
Any song that you want.
I'll play on the mouth on the mouth organ. I'll play a small verse.
Yeah.
The first verse I'll play. Okay. It's an old song, patriotic song, but it's quite old.
What a wonderful ending to the show, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us here today.
My
It was surely an honor to host you today, and it was really a thought-provoking and an absorbing show. I
my
will
pleasure to be with you
surely,
all. My
yes,
pleasure to be with you all. Thank you very much for hosting the show. It's very nice of you, very kind of you. Thank you so much.
and I would request the audience to please stay safe, stay home, and continue to watch these shows by TLR now.
Yeah, all of you stay
Bye.
home. Yeah, bye bye. Namaste.
Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
One, two, three, four. 4. हर किसी